All right, all right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another installment of this amazing financial empowerment show called Your Money Matters Financial Empowerment Show. I am your host, Letha Thornton, and we are here tonight to continue the movement that we have going to advance and move the culture forward by providing education and resources about all things money and finance. We continue to find guests and meaningful programming for you so that you can take control of your finances, learn some things without having to pay for them or search them on the internet, and have some of our experts even connect with you if you have an interest in learning more about what it is that we do. Tonight is no different. We have talked about all things currency. We've talked cryptocurrency. We've talked all kinds of things. But tonight I invited a very special guest, and the power of social media is so intense, you all. It has meant not just everything for my business, but it has also helped me to make connections with people all over the United States. We've been to South Africa, we've been to Canada, we've been all over the place with the guests that we have on our show. So, the power of networking on social media is bar none. They say your net worth is due to your network, and that is what we continue to do. Myself and the folks at CMP Radio are always looking to add value to the things that you have going on. So tonight I invited a young lady. I'm a part of a group um, with her mother, actually. And her mother and I are very, very supportive of one another, despite the fact that we have never met. But she's always encouraging me. And she put me on to her daughter and said, "You really need to talk with my daughter about what she does. You guys are both into, money and money matters. And I think that it would be a great she would be a great show guest." So I reached out. We've been kind of connecting, but never quite linked up. And today I have the pleasure and the honor of introducing and bringing to you Dr. Sharia Lucas, numismatist. Anyway, she's going to tell you. I did practice this several times, but it's a real tongue twister. So, Sharia, welcome. How are you this evening? Tell us who you are and introduce the word correctly.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you so much again. My name is Dr. Sharia Lucas, and I am what you call a numismatist and a numismatic, which pretty much means I study the history, science, math, and physical properties of currency. That's a numismatist. Now, I'm also a numismatic, which means I collect a certain type of currency, which I'm pretty sure everyone collects currency, but there's a name for that. So I wanted to say welcome.
Well, we are happy to have you, and I didn't know that there was a name for what it is that you do.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about your personal story. Tell us who you are, how you started in the industry of being a numismatic. I think I said it right that time.
ma'am.
Tell us just tell us a little bit about your journey.
Awesome, will do. So I am originally from Washington, D.C., but I currently am bi-coastal. I live in Missouri and in the DMV area. But it all started with my grandfather. My grandfather grew up during the Great Depression, and it was one peace dollar that he happened to love. This peace dollar represent hope in a time of despair. So a few things that happened while he was a little boy: stock market crash, World War One, of course, the Great Depression took everybody's banks took everyone's money. So he held on to these peace dollars, 1921. Now this peace dollar happens to be a 1921 high relief peace dollar, and come to find out is worth over six figures.
Mm.
Now the thing was when he passed, the only thing I actually wanted was three of his peace dollars. Everybody else wanted certain things. I didn't know or find out till later on by a beautiful lady named Magda, who happened to be in Europe and Germany. She was a numismatist who studied it, and she actually told me how much it's worth. Then I ended up going to the Federal Reserve and then got it also checked out by some graders and specialists, and it confirmed it actually was worth a little bit more. So I asked her, I'd like to learn. And come to find out, each state has at least 8 to 9 or 10 numismatic associations or coin clubs. But what I found out was that it wasn't that many people that looked like me. So I
Mm.
wanted to bring more awareness to it. And thankfully, what they did was make sure I took some classes, went to school, got certified for it, and I became a grader. So I ended up grading your currency. Now I can grade currency from 2024 all the way down. Now, when people think of currency, they automatically think of coins, but it's gold, silver, platinum, palladium, paper currency, hard assets, anything that is a hard asset, I grade. So,
So when you say grade, I don't mean to cut you off. When you say grade, you mean you measure the quality, the dollar amount of worth, or what does
oh,
grading mean?
grading means a combination of different things. What I do is I look at the wear and tear of the currency. Let's just say this Booker T. Washington, for instance. This is actually slabbed and graded. I look at the date. I look at when it came out.
What is
Why
that?
do I look at
That
the
is,
intricate?
what kind of coin is that?
This is a Booker T. Washington $50 coin. The
Oh,
first, yes, the first black person on a coin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now this Booker T. Washington is actually worth over $250, 1946 S.
Mm,
So I look at a combination of different things. How many that came out on that year? Now, if it has different alphabets on like a S or a P or a D, that means it came out from San Francisco, Seattle, Denver. I also look at the wear and tear. There's a lot of different details that I look at to also grade a coin. And when it comes to grading, it can start from F, which is fine 1, which is actually the worst condition, to MS 70, which is mint state 70, end up being the best condition, like this. And
okay.
this is a grade, and this is a grade. So I do, if you decide, there's different ways if you want to hold on to it because they're worth more each year.
Hmm.
They're hard assets. Now, if you decide that you want to sell it, I can show you different ways of selling it. And my services are free. Only thing I want to do is just share and bring awareness to the minority community.
I
In addition,
absolutely
oh,
love it.
thank you,
And I'll
thank
tell
you.
you this, and I'm gonna make a joke, but in the African American community, one thing's for sure, we certainly collect coins. When there was a coin
Yes.
shortage, they were saying all we had to do was tap into the African American community with the water cooler bottles, and we had our
Mhm.
bottles filled to the brim. So if you need a coin shortage, we were holding on to coins. But how does one know if they have a coin that might be worth something? Because I actually have a friend who collects coins, but how does one know if they're sitting on something that is worth something? How would they know that?
That's a good question. When I do my seminars or conferences, I try and give them some basic details. For pennies, anything under 1983 is copper. That right there itself will give it more value.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're talking about nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars and stuff like that, anything under 1965 is 90% silver. That right there brings in more value.
Okay.
Then you add different elements. Now, I always give a rule of thumb. Anything under 1965 is 90% silver. 1965 to 1970 is 40% silver. Now, after that, Uncle Sam got wise and there's no more silver.
So what did they start mixing it with?
Different metals and minerals. So this right here is okay. I'll give you a good example. Let's just say gold, for instance. Now, when you think of gold, most people think of 14 karat gold. Is that correct? 14
Absolutely.
karat, right. 14 karat gold is only 53% gold. The purest gold is 24 karat gold.
Hmm.
Not only that, gold can be coming in different forms. You can grab a little bit or buy a little bit over time, and it will add up over time. So I go over gold, I go over silver, platinum, palladium, paper, paper currency. You can have this $2 bill, for instance. Most people just look at it as a $2 bill, 1976 $2 bill. But this
Hmm.
$2 bill is actually worth over thousands of dollars. I usually try not to say too much of how much it's worth,
I
but
bet you don't.
yeah, it's a good amount.
Right.
But the thing is, you can have currency that's worth six figures or millions of dollars. There's a reason why there's numismatic associations in each state, at least eight, nine, or 10. They'll call it coin clubs unless it belongs to that state. They always have one that's actually called the Numismatic Association. Like Missouri, for instance, there's a Missouri Numismatic Association or St. Louis Coin Club. Or Maryland, for instance, they'll have Maryland Numismatic Association or, say, Annapolis Coin Club. But at least eight, nine, or 10 coin clubs. And in addition, what I did was I formed the first minority numismatic association in the whole United States. So you want to
Wow.
bring more awareness? Yes.
So I guess my question is, why aren't there more numismatic clubs?
Education and awareness. Even when I talk to my friends, it takes them a while. Some will catch on just like this. They'll catch on very quickly. But others, I have to know my audience and actually kind of break it down a little bit to them closer. For a penny, for instance, a 1909 S penny is worth $20,000. You have a 1955 double die penny is worth. So I try to break it down to each detail because I want my friends to look at their currency a little bit more.
You're gonna have people diving in their piggy banks,
Yes,
trying to figure out trying to figure out if this is actually worth something. And truth be told, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten to a place and took a look at a coin and said, I wonder if this is worth anything, and never knew that there was anybody out there that could take a look at that. So I just I would end up giving it when I pay for food. But it is definitely a good way to learn, if you are sitting on a gold mine and just don't know it, right? So the
mm-hmm.
awareness, what when you're talking about bringing awareness to our communities, what would you like people to know?
I like people to look at their currency a little bit more, to actually study it more. Why is this Morgan dollar? Why does it look like this? Why did it come out this time? Numismatics is the study of science, history, math. And if you love scavenger hunt, then you will love this. And its attention to detail.
Mm,
The thing is, initially what I wanted to do was just bring awareness and just grade people's currency for free. Now I want to just do more. I want everyone to look at their currency. And the thing was with my grandfather, he knew something was more to what you initially see with this peace dollar.
sure.
Because whenever I wanted to go to the corner store, he always say, okay, you can spend this one. You can spend this, but do not spend this. So even with our own people, we know something is going on. So
Right.
history, education, awareness.
Okay. And in your experience, and how long have you been a numismatic?
I've been a numismatic for over 20 years and a
Okay.
numismatist for over 20.
Okay. And in your experience, do you feel that that people are getting hip? Like, are you starting to create chapters in other states, or how do you feel the awareness that you're spreading? How do you feel people are latching on?
Oh, it started last year with a few of my friends. I belong to the St. Louis Numismatic Association, and I am the only Black person in there. I've also made history by being the first Black person and first female to hold an officer position out of 60 years. So I'm very fortunate on that. But it's a lot of education and awareness. And I talk to my friends all the time. My family knows exactly. And for some reason, it ended up just clicking just like that. So I did a few seminars and a few conferences in Missouri. And then my family was like, you can't do one in your hometown? So I did a did a conference in the DMV, and now some of my friends and family members is spreading. It's spreading. My nonprofit is called the Grading Vault, which grade people's currency for free, and I love it. Not only that, if you decide to sell it, I show you exactly where to go to sell it. And I've helped families that have $200,000 that didn't know, all the way down to $700. But I just love to see the surprise on their face and the happiness. And that gives me more joy than anything else.
That gives me a lot of joy, right? Because again, you could be sitting on something and you don't know, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what about international coins? Have you gotten
Oh.
into that at all?
Okay, so I'm a little bit rusty with international coins, but the good thing about numismatists is that all of us we study a little bit of everything, but we always focus on something that we particularly love. Now, I have two of my friends, and they study world currency for over 50 and 60 years. Now, when you think of numismatists, most numismatists are older, a little bit more older than I am. So you don't really see too many numismatists that are my age, although you are seeing more because a few of my friends have studied and are becoming numismatists. But most numismatists are older people.
Okay.
And I have a few that study, they are experts on world currency. Now, I am experts on American and specifically the Morgan dollar and peace dollar because my grandfather loved the peace dollar,
Sure.
specifically those.
Okay. So, yeah, I always wondered, about that. So, as far as the grading, when you sit down with someone, I know that the year plays a part, and then do you have a system that you look it up to say, okay, your coin is worth blah 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 blah. Like, how do you determine the value or the worth of the coin?
Well, I have a guide, but it's a few things that I have to look at. I have to look at the wear and tear. I have to look at the date. I have to look at the back of the see exactly anything that's going on. Not only that, I have to look at attention to detail. So when you grade, it is a 20-point grading system that grade from 1 to 20. However, the alphabets are different. If I'm saying a F1, that means that is the worst condition possible. That means that you cannot see, say for instance, the writing, the Liberty part. Can't see the stars, can't hardly see her face, can't see the bag with an eagle. That's the worst condition. Now, as it get better and better, I can start seeing more attention to details and be able to say, okay, this might be a AU50 or MS1. So better condition, the more outcome it be, and it'll be worth more. Now, you can have currency that at its worst condition still be worth six figures because of rarity of it. You could
Gotcha.
also not mean it came out at that moment. So it's a lot of different factors that come into place. But I pretty much once I'm finished, I do two things. I initially slab it and say, okay, I am starting the grading process. Then once I'm finished, it will look exactly like this. Now, if you decide to sell it, some people want to sell theirs on eBay. They give you a good amount because they give a bidding war. You can also go to numismatic associations all over the United States. They'll give you about 90%, 95% of the value. If it's something I love, I'll give you 100% of the value and keep it moving because I love it myself.
Sure.
But then you also, some people will hold on to it and then maybe sell it later on. But it's a hard asset, like real estate. It's currency. So I don't want to say what my grandfather used to say: when stuff hits the fan, you can cash it in and you have money.
Fantastic. Okay. There's levels to all of this. I
Mhm.
absolutely love it. And being in Pennsylvania, that's where I'm at currently. I was, like I said, I had no idea that there's a whole world of things that are going on to help you to grade your coins. What about, like, I know that coins are one thing. Have you gotten into, like, um gold and silver outside of
Oh,
coins?
oh yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. I grade silver all the time.
You
Premium
holding out.
silver,
You over there
gold.
holding out.
Yes. I grade your currency. I grade paper currency. I grade gold. I grade silver. Just okay, so gold, for instance, when people think of gold, they think of 14 karat gold. 18 karat gold will actually be the best type of gold if you're getting jewelry. Now, you can have gold that's all the way down from 6 karat, I have seen 6 karat, to 24 karat. Now, 24 karat is the purest type of gold, but it'll also look different. It would definitely be very, very yellow. Now, the gold, as it changes, and there'll be less gold and more minerals. The color changes. Now with silver, silver is used for 10 different purposes. And I always tell people that might be actually a good investment you might want to do. I'll just name three:
I was about to
industrial,
say,
medical.
can you name some of those purposes?
Okay, industrial, medical, and investment purposes. But then silver can be, you can grade that like this right here is bars of silver, and then you have premium silver. And oh my goodness, right now in January, silver was just $24 an ounce. It's up to 29.68, and 2 days ago it was at 32. So we estimate that it will definitely be up to $50 by the end of the year. So try and get all my friends to buy up as much silver as you can now because you want to sell it later on if you decide to sell it. But it's definitely going to keep going up. Same with
So
gold.
people were thinking it was gold, but the best kept secret is really silver.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. And when you're buying up silver and things like that, where is that stored? Do you safe deposit box it? Like, where do you store those things?
Well, I store mine in a few different places. You can store gold and silver at your house because people always wonder if you can't have bars of silver, bars of gold, or something like that. Yes, you can. But safe deposit boxes, a few other places. I do not put all my currency with me in one place at a
Good.
few other houses, but
Okay.
definitely different places.
Well, that's exciting. Like I said, this is a whole new world for me. So I'm thinking of as many questions as I possibly can, just so that I can learn. Because investing in the stock market and things like that. That's one thing. Real estate's another thing. But I keep hearing people talking about the gold and silver revolution where people are starting to invest in those things as well. Um, does the gold and silver world? Um, I heard people are perhaps bartering and doing some things as if it is currency. Is that accurate?
Gold and silver is what you call the universal currency. So no matter where you are in the world, it's always going to be that one set price. And now I'm not a financial advisor. So I'm gonna put that out there right now. Not a financial advisor. However, you want to have a diverse portfolio. You want to have a good amount of hard assets as well as soft assets to be able to balance out in case one might go a little bit low, the other one will go high. And that's kind of how gold and silver, platinum and palladium coincide with the stock market. So when you're looking at that each day, it always go like this.
Yes, it does.
I always definitely buy a good amount of gold and silver and just have it as part of my portfolio.
Okay, and where does one start that process? Like, if you wanted to buy gold and silver, I know that they can certainly buy, purchase coins and things, but it'll probably be a little more expensive because the more rare they are, the more expensive. But how does one go about starting their journey in diversifying their portfolio, so to speak, and starting to purchase gold and silver?
Okay, so Robert Kiyosaki, I think he wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, correct?
Correct.
A few of his financial advisors are numismatists, like me.
Hmm.
So what they do is they always suggest different websites. I like SD Bullion; they're pretty good. I also go to a few. Well, I belong to a numismatic association, a few of them, and we actually buy amongst each other. But there are a few reputable websites that will actually well, good decent prices. But I would always say, please, 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 do your research. Do your research before you even start thinking about buying gold or silver.
And what kind of research would one do? I'm pretty sure with the technology age, there's a lot of scams and a lot of things like that. How does one know if they're on the right path to on the or even on the right website? To what are they looking for as far as authenticity?
I'll see how long they've been around. If they've been around for 40 or 50 years, I'll also check and see their track record. I would actually look at the Better Business Bureau to see, because you can actually see a good amount just on businesses, including you buying gold and silver. But SD Bullion is a very, very good place to start. In addition, I would, if you're in whatever state you're in, I would look at your local numismatic association and check them out. And all of them are experts in gold and silver and any type of numismatic form, any type of currency, to be honest, including myself.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's really honestly what this show is about, right?
Mhm.
Is getting on, hearing about a specific topic, and then getting on the path to implementing some of those things. And a lot of the times people don't know where to go. They don't know, even where to begin. So, I feel like you're kind of breaking things down for us so that we can, you know, get a handle on learning some, the different things that we can do, um, to diversify our portfolio, and the value of gold and silver, as you said, is not going to change. So I think that it's definitely something that people should grab a hold of. And even with the coins, like I said, just not knowing that you could be sitting on something. I wanted to ask about some of the you said it was a peace
Peace
dollar.
sign. Yes.
As far as those rare gems, because you said your grandfather, it was 19, what year?
1921 high relief peace dollar. But I can honestly tell you that pretty much majority of our grandparents and great grandparents have that particular coin, along with some Morgan dollars and along with some old change that they just have stuck around their house and just collecting dust. Because you'd be surprised, majority of the people that I grade is usually just some change or currency they have laying around.
Hmm.
So this particular peace dollar was just what my grandfather loved, and for him the peace star did represent hope in a time of despair. It came out twice, 1921, 1936, and again in 36 to 34. Then one more time they did the commemorative edition of the peace dollar and Morgan dollar. Now this happens to be my favorite, the Morgan dollar, because it came before the peace dollar. It's worth a little bit more, but this happened to be my favorite. But in honor of my grandfather, I did finish his collection and made sure his whole collection was done. So,
Nice. That's a beautiful thing, to see that you're carrying out, some things generationally that was in your family. The Morgan dollar and the peace dollar, are there a lot of those still in floating around? Yeah.
yes, there are a lot of different types of coins that are floating around. You can have currency from 2024 that's worth a good amount of money.
Really?
Okay, I'll give you an example. Have you seen those quarters with the American women on them?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure from 2022, they'll stop making them in 2025 and then they'll put it different. There's 10 major women, American women, 2024. If you collect that one, if you collect all 10, that's $300 right there.
What? Who are some of these women?
Oh, there are okay. Bessie Coleman. I'm not too much in the 2022 or 2024 coins. Bessie Coleman. It was two other ones, and I forgot the names of them, but they do look similar to this. Oh, I should remember those names for the quarters.
That's okay. I know you collecting more of the older coins, but that's okay. I just didn't know that there were coins still in production, like a 2024 coin that there could be some value to. So that's interesting to know. Especially when you were saying, that they're
Matter of
not
fact,
they're not.
majority of currency they come out.
Say it again.
Majority of currency, majority of currency that come out from 2024 on down is worth more than initial value. Pretty
Hmm.
much 90% of it. Let me see it. I'll give you a good book to look at. It just came out. Each year they have a coin book. It's called the Red Book. Then they have the Blue Book and the Green Book. I would suggest, just as a guide, the 2024, 2025 Red Book. It gives you a breakdown of every currency or every coin from pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters from 2024 all the way down to the 14, 13, 1200s. And it gets more expensive after the 1200s.
Hmm. So
Mhm.
the the silver dollars, the Susan B. Anthony's, um the
Yes.
the half dollars, those things. Um, I always thought that those were more more valuable. Is that safe to say?
Yes. Even if they have mistakes. I'll say with the Susan B. Anthony, if you see a funny looking Cheerio on the back, it's worth $5,000. The
A
more
funny
mistakes,
looking what? Look,
Cheerio.
look, look.
I call it a Cheerio in the back of a coin. That's worth $5,000. That makes it worth even more. Any mistakes that I have on it, or let's just say this $2 bill. If you have different serial numbers, if you have one serial number that's different from the other, it's worth more. If the serial numbers are lower, it's worth more. If I have a star note on the serial number, it's worth more. So it's all sorts of different things, mistakes that you can have, not just on paper currency, but any type of currency that makes it even worth more.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
as we move to, you know, they a cashless society, right?
Hmm.
Do you see this this numismatic era? Do you see it increasing in value as we move closer to a cashless society because they're going to become so rare?
I definitely see it moving more into it, especially with precious metals. And in some aspect, this currency has precious metals in it, especially when they're talking about gold and silver. So I can definitely see it being worth a little bit more, worth a lot more. I'll say that.
Okay, if I decided that this was going to be a way that another way for me to create wealth, give me an idea of maybe um, the type of money. If I decided to get in, if I decided to become a numismatic, what kind of money is involved? What kind of money could I make if I got into this?
Okay, so if you're talking about having it as a business,
Yeah.
even if it's 501c3s, a majority every numismatic organization I know brings in a good amount of money. You have the ANS, the oldest one, the American Numismatic Society, which is out based in New York. They were formed in 1826. Then you have the American Numismatic Association. They're the second largest. And then you have at least eight, nine, or even 10 numismatic associations, societies in each state, and they all worth a good amount of dollars. Even to be an officer, you have to have a certain collection. Your collection have to be worth a certain amount of dollars to be an
That,
officer, along with the education and knowledge. So if you're starting, I always suggest people to go with what you like, and you will end up gravitating towards it. I have some friends that love commemorative coins, and that's what they collect. I have some friends that just collect silver. That's it. And then but I love how I see them gravitating towards their own specific currency. Myself, I just gravitated towards Morgan dollars and then gold and silver as I started learning more and more. That's what I collect. But I myself, the penny for some reason is one of my favorites because so many people like to sleep on the penny for some reason.
huh.
And you can have a 19, okay, so this is where the history comes in. 1941 was the Second World War, World War II. So they stopped making copper and they started making, I'm sorry, stopped making copper. I'm sorry, I said it right. Stopped making copper and started making steel. So from 43 and 44, they had some steel pennies. Now, there's a lot of rarity towards that. There was a 1943, the steel penny is worth six figures. Some 1944s. Now, let's just say this 1909 VG penny is worth a good amount, and people just look at it and just think it's a penny. But this penny can be worth actually $10,000 or $12,000 or even more.
Mm.
So when people look at pennies, I always tell people, please don't sleep on your pennies, because so many people have pennies and they just throw them away or just disregard them.
And what year, you said, what year is worth the most money? Like, what did you say? Like 19?
Oh, there's a number of different years. I just gave that as an example. But there's so many different years, just not on pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, half dollars, dollars. Oh my goodness. When I did a conference, I had a folder of a cheat sheet that just gave example for each currency to look for that's worth at least 5 or 6 figures. So that way, I give them an idea. And from here on out, I guess some people, once you get it, they just run with it, which I love doing it because they have to look at their currency a little bit different from now on. So I do love that aspect.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power. And
Knowledge is
when you know, when there's some things that you can latch on to and learn, and this is something that seems to be, relatively easy and lucrative, that
power.
you are just sitting around and don't know, the value of these things. I think that this is really, really huge. Like I said, especially knowing that we are in the world where we're moving to a cashless society. Holding on to these things and never knowing, that it could be worth something. So I think it's absolutely fantastic. um what would you leave our audience with, um as far as, if you had to do closing remarks, what would you tell our audience about this fascinating industry that you're a part of?
I would say knowledge is power. Numismatists have been around since the 1200s, and we're just now starting to catch hold of it. Um, if someone want to share knowledge with you, it doesn't hurt to listen because it can definitely help you later on. My grandfather used to say, "Be the spark or be the change in the world." And the only thing I want to do is just bring awareness and help a few people along the way. If I've done that, then I've done my purpose.
I love it. And that is, again, what this show is all about. Tell folks, if they wanted to learn more and maybe pick your brain or ask you additional questions. I don't know if there's questions in the chat because I can't see it, but how do folks reach you if they wanted to learn more about being a numismatist?
Yes. Please like and follow the Grading Vault. I am on Facebook as well as Instagram. I will come to your area and grade your currency for free. I don't want anything in return. Now, if it's over $1,000, I do want some food. I want a plate. I want some food. I do want that.
I
But
know that's right.
oh yes, oh yes. Now I do have a few numbers, and you can call these numbers. My services are in the DMV, Missouri, Illinois. But if you need me to grade your currency in Philadelphia, Texas, I will fly down there and grade your currency.
Hmm.
You can call these numbers, area code 314-332-0779. And I have a 240 number, Maryland number. And I do not know that number by heart just yet, but I will post it and I'll send it to you. But
Absolutely.
please,
You can certainly go back to this replay and post, any phone numbers, any email addresses, any, Facebook, Twitter, any of your, social media connections. You can certainly go back and post them. But I strongly encourage anyone who is looking for a way to, um, get into something outside of your regular, um, ways of accumulating money. If you have a way that you're accumulating money outside of your 9 to 5, I would strongly suggest that you reach out to this sister and really pick her brain, ask questions. You might even be able to take a picture of a coin you have and ask questions. Like I said, I didn't know that this was gonna really tap into someone that I know who, is holding on to some coins and things and may not know, what avenues to explore to be able to, see if these things are worth anything. So I strongly suggest that you reach out to Dr. Lucas and ask her some questions. If this is something that you find to be interesting and you want to get involved, it seems like she's willing to take people by the hand and really show them as a part of her way of giving back and bringing forth awareness. I don't want to talk for you, but
No, yes, absolutely. I also give videos education on Facebook as well as Instagram. On the Grading Vault, I have videos, I think at least 20 or 25, just on different currency. And then sometimes I have my friends involved while I'm grading their currency and some numismatists that I know to help on advanced knowledge. So if you might see a video of mine that can just be focused on nickels and dimes, and you can have some, you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I have some nickels that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I give education as well as free grading and currency. So please like and follow. I have a website, thegradingvault.com, also on Facebook and Instagram.
okay. Well, I think that you are beautiful inside and out, my dear. I cannot thank you enough for coming onto the show and sharing your wisdom and your knowledge. I'm definitely intrigued. I'm going to be following you a little bit more closely. I always kind of look at what people have going on. Especially when it comes to people who I'm interested in bringing on the show, but I'm just slightly intrigued about, like I said, what could be sitting in my coin jar. So I'm definitely going to be staying in touch, and watching some of your videos so that I could get the knowledge, right? And that really is what it's all about. We live in a world where, you know um, and I don't want to get on my soapbox, but I'm gonna do it anyway. We live in a world where people are more concerned about who's sleeping with who's gay, who's straight, who's this, who's got the latest that, and we are sitting on we have access to information that could move us forward financially, and we're worried about certain things that we should not be worried about. So I implore everyone to start latching on and taking advantage of some of this information that is being provided to you, because we can live in the right now all we want, but there are some things that we are watching unfold that really make you feel shaky about the certainty of our money, right? So I want to empower people as much as possible to take advantage of some of these tools and some of these strategies that people are sharing with you for free. People are not necessarily coming on this show trying to charge people. They're trying to get this information and knowledge out. And my podcast is not the only one, right? We are in an information age, and a lot of the times we may not understand everything that we read because it's put in terms that we don't understand, but there are people who are willing to take their time to grab you by the hand and help you walk down the path. You just have to be willing to, maybe use your time and your energy to take some steps in a different direction. And I know that I have had people tell me that this show is impactful, or this show has helped them to take some steps in a different direction. That's the reason that we are here, and we're just looking to continue to help you to grow. So I thank you so much, Sharia. I look forward to connecting with you again. I'd like to, you know, continue the conversation offline, just to build, right? Because it's really
Yeah.
not about just having a guest on a show and talking about it, but really building, like I built with your mother, where we lift and empower and encourage each other. I tell people all the time, she really is like my biggest cheerleader. I have never met her, don't know what state she's
Yeah.
in, but she is amazing. And
She's the one who pushed me because I just wanted to kind of, she said, oh, you got to keep doing it, keep pushing. So she's my biggest one, my biggest cheerleaders. I love her to
yeah,
death.
I'm not even her child, and I don't know her, but she cheers me on continuously.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Queen Edith. But I look forward to talking with you at a later date, and that
Oh, I
concludes.
got one more thing. I'm sorry because she just reminded me. Okay, so We formed the first minority numismatic association. So we're giving out education. It'll be fully formed within a month or so. And it's 10 of us, but we have almost 200 members already. So if you would love to join, please join. Everything is free. We're just trying to share, give knowledge, and help a few people. Maybe actually give some currency to help you start on your journey of collecting and be more financially stable. So yes, I did want to say that. And it's named after my grandfather, Alfred Walker Numismatic Association. So
I love that, right? The more reasons. And I hate to see that us as minorities are tardy to the party, right? Whether it was systematically designed or, just not in our purview. It's a great
mm,
feeling to know that we are catching on and we are starting to implement some of the things that the wealthy have been doing for decades, right? Centuries, even. So, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing
mm,
that. And that concludes this episode of Your Money Matters Financial Empowerment Show. I hope to see you all on additional episodes. Please go and like Dr. Lucas's page, The Grading Vault, and please like our page as well, Your Money Matters Financial Empowerment Show. We do have a Facebook group where we share current shows, previous shows. There might be something on there that you wanted to know about, and you can scroll and see different shows. But please like and support the page if you support the movement. So I bid you all a good night, and we will see you in 2 weeks for our entrepreneur spotlight. And I wish you all a good night. Thank you.
good night and thank you. Thank you again.
My absolute pleasure, my dear.
CMPRadio.net. It's the station. Listen, man, let's cultivate together. Bring us all your show ideas. Content creators, we're looking for that. Videographers, we're looking for that. You can be a part of the next great big thing that takes place right here in Chester,
Okie
Pennsylvania.
dokie.
Let's cultivate